Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. Rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. I did just post a message on my Facebook page explaining that I just suffered a cataclysmic hardware failure. Somehow, and I'm not sure how, I've managed to get my machine to boot, and fingers crossed, I hope, nay I pray, it will stay online for the duration of this cast and long enough for me to upload it. So without wasting any further time, let's head on over to the game zone, which is going to be Theta's Passage. And no explanations needed as to what this is. This is a ladder match between two very high-profile figures. Down here at the bottom left in the red corner, going UEF, it's the one and only Voodoo opening first land, and I'd bet my mother's right arm he's going to finish up with two power gens attached to it right now. Here we go. There it is, all very standard, and he's facing off against clan tags chosen up here in the blue corner. Going UEF, also opening land first, two P-gens, all very standard. And the astute of you will recognize immediately that this is a slightly older replay. I am still working through the backlog that I've got of replays. I can't wait to get up to 3622 and 3623. The new interface changes that Zep has added look really cool. I'll be able to give you live updates, or everyone will be able to see up here at the top right the live income that each player is getting, and that will not be truncated in any way. That will all be nice and clear. But anyway, on to this game. Looks like we're getting some lab play, some mech marines out here from Voodoo, bunches of 3, and a flare over here on the left hand side from Chosen has snaked his way around and is looking for some kind of vector into Voodoo's base. I think he's going to be unsuccessful. There's only a couple of engineers in place, and Voodoo's got his ACU right in the middle, offering pretty darn good protection. Flare coming in around the back, firing a few shots at that mass pump, promptly getting terminated by the ACU. And Voodoo's got an engineer at the middle hoovering up that mass. He's got there first, which is always nice to see. And now it's Voodoo's turn to try and make some kind of aggressive impact on this game. 3 or 4 mech marines up here at the front, but they're going to get outclassed, I suggest, by these Auroras. A nice little bit of micro there, but didn't pay off too well. We've got 2 land factories in play there. What the balls, Voodoo, you crazy sausage, going Tech 2 at 3 minutes on Theta's Passage. I have never seen its equal, ever. That is by far and away the earliest tech upgrade I've ever seen on Theta's, barring none, as that engineer goes down from Voodoo. A couple of Auroras proving too much for him. I cannot believe that. That's going to be hugely interesting to see. We're seeing quite a lot of factory spam, as you would expect, going down for Chosen, so it really is going to be tech versus spam. But Voodoo must know his build order incredibly well if he reckons he can make that work. I won't second guess him. He is a one and only, that's for certain, so if he thinks he can make it work, I'm sure he can. But the scout plane that flew over first will give them a vector on this engineer, and there's now 2 of them right side by side. Both get picked up, cancelling that build order, one of which was actually the power storage, which Voodoo really might need very soon. He's probably going to have to do a lot of work now with his ACU. He's got Auroras coming in, the front door up here, and now heading south straight towards his main base. I think he's probably going to ignore them, allow his strikers to do the work with them right there in the middle, and move forward with his ACU to try and secure this area. But it's a slight problem to be certain. You've got bombers all over the place. He's trying to make a little push up the right hand side, but still with slightly inferior units. He has got 1 striker in there, but probably gets taken out by a bomber. But he does have the T2 factory online, which is quite insane. 800 mass, 5,000 power, I think at first glance, if memory serves. Manages to complete a mongoose, and that's off the conveyor belt at minute 5. That's outrageous. And finally, those 2 power gens at the back for Voodoo go down. He needs to somehow get a handle on these bombers. He's not going to do it from the air. Hasn't started any production yet of an air facility, so he's going to have to deal with it from the ground. Of course, he'll be able to get skyboxes off the conveyor belt soon, although he may not want to devote any time to it because of actually, I think he's doing it right now. That is exactly what he's doing. So that will afford him some very nice protection as this group of units, accompanied by these These two T2 Mongoose heading bottom right, going to go through this aperture, I guess. Or at least they're heading down there to cover it for now. Skyboxer online promptly swats with a combination of that archer as well. Swats that bomber out of the sky. And Voodoo, so desperate for build capacity right now, is forced to build power gens way up here to try and keep up with his expansion, because it's where his ACU is. He can't afford to move his ACU back. Chosen up here with his commander. He's on an upgrade. Minus 240 odd power net. Seriously bottlenecking on power. It's probably going to be the gun upgrade if I had to hazard a guess. Just have to see how that works out for him. But now we're seeing some aggression from Voodoo as he makes his way through the bottom right aperture. And Chosen must just be like, what? You're kidding me, Mongoose? I don't believe it. But it's true, my friend. They are right here. I am looking at it with my own eyes. Of course, that will know or alert Chosen to the fact that he may be weak in other areas. His expansion may not have gone that quickly. Of course, he's been able to grab all of this up here, Chosen. So in terms of eco, he must be further ahead. 24, 28-ish. Voodoo on 20, so not doing too badly considering. But we've got a ghetto gunship over on the right-hand side with only one archer for defense in the mix down here. So this little group with the Mongoose in it probably not going to get too much more done, and there's not really anything else he can do about it. No other anti-air units on this side of the map that can come to the aid. And the last Mongoose in that group goes down. And now we're seeing Chosen flirting with the edges while Voodoo is actually caught on an upgrade. The question is, did Chosen see that? Could be all important. And also, does Chosen have overcharge? He doesn't yet. Still 4,000 power tops in his tray. He can't call on any more, so he can't fire that overcharge. He needs to get it quickly, being as he's currently out-teched on the ground. Is he currently building it? Must be mad if he's not. Energy storage, there it is, going up very quickly indeed. Now he's coming in with some of his own units. Voodoo still caught on that upgrade. There's an opportunity here for Chosen. No reinforcements in the area. They're being moved off to the right-hand side. That could be a mistake. Voodoo's not completing this upgrade very quickly. He's going to shed an awful lot of pounds before this is over. There are flares in the mix, dropping artillery shells. Sorry, fervors in the mix, dropping artillery shells on his face. That's always bad for your health. Voodoo finishes his upgrade, manages to back out. That looks like it's going to be the gun upgrade that he's just snagged, giving him nice range and damage. Shoos away the rest of those Auroras. Luckily, there are some Mongoose here to back him up. Chosen's going to have to back up a little bit unless he wants to shed an awful lot of HP. He's already down into the yellow at around 8,000 hit points. And then that promptly clears up that little engagement. But this ghetto gunship still alive, working on mass points. And Voodoo's lost all of this on the right-hand side. And this could be the end of the game. I know it seems a ways off, but as far as I'm concerned, he hasn't got the eco to get back in it. He's lost all of these mass points out to the right. And all of these rear ones, he's trying to get this air factory online. He's going to lose the 2 bits of build capacity that's working on it. All of the labs inside that transport, though, however, get knocked down by the skyboxer. Transport, for the moment, still alive. Comes out probably at too shallow a vector and gets swatted before it can make any headway. Voodoo, though, caught very isolated up at the front. He's got the gun upgrade on him. Reasonable amount of HP to deal with that. Down to about 4,000 now. Chosen obviously feeling very bolstered by the recent successes. He knows he's hemmed Voodoo in to this little corner of the map. Voodoo now sitting on 7 mass. Woeful up against Chosen's 24. So Chosen looking like he's sitting pretty on this one. Take a miracle for Voodoo to turn it around. Still, he swans backwards and forwards, trying to pick up what mass he can. Reclaim could prove critical if he's going to stay in this. Groups of Auroras trying to get a bit of a run by on down at the back here. It's going to prove difficult with all of these Mongoose in play, and we've actually got a triad online. And that will afford Voodoo some protection, at least a place to run back to. Our radar system going up for Voodoo as well. He needs to stop any more of these run-bys, but what a tiny little pocket of map control he's got, as opposed to Chosen, who's got all of this. He could literally come across and start grabbing some of this as well. And Engineer's being dispatched out to the right-hand side. The question is, will he be able to hang on to it with these Auroras coming in through the aperture down here? Although Voodoo suspects that that might be an issue, he's going to head out with his Mongoose and try and protect this Engineer. Definitely the right decision. For the moment, he's still got that tech advantage, and he is going to continue with that air factory. Probably not a bad idea. Another ghetto gunship of the likes that we saw before could ruin him, but there's a lot of bombers queuing up back here for Chosen. He's not doing anything with them for the moment. He's just hanging on to them for the moment when he needs them. Now we're getting a little bit of com-on-com action. Quite a few Auroras up here as well. Lots of T1 units, in fact, for Chosen, bearing down on Voodoo, who's a snifter above the red. He's about to go into the red. There we go. Down to 3,000 hit points, looking very weak indeed. 2,000 hit points. He's engaging with some of his own units. We've got the wave of bombers coming in now for Voodoo. It's going to take a lot of very skillful micro for him to stay alive. Takes a couple of bombs to the face, down to 500 hit points, and is now surely doomed. Aircraft circling overhead. Voodoo micros very skillfully indeed. That's not an easy thing to do, to time that perfectly, prevent the bombers from dropping those bombs. Still only on 800 hit points. Can't afford to take any unnecessary damage from these bombs. Bombs away left, right and center. Little bit of splash accumulating on the commander. 760 hit points for the moment. Oh, 800 just about healing himself. Still bombers in the air. There is a skyboxer in place, knocking them out as quickly as Chosen could possibly manage it. Still this Triad online, which is affording him some protection, but he doesn't want to be exposing himself unnecessarily to any more fire from Chosen. Chosen's got too many HP on him. He will survive the comp blast at the moment, that's for certain. 1500 HP. Needs to get back in. It nearly went down there, but got a very timely ranking upgrade. More bombs coming in. Voodoo. Oh, God. Chosen moving forward, trying to take out that Triad. Manages it. And now Voodoo just retreats to safer ground. Definitely not the safest place at the moment at the front of his base. And surely that's going to be game as the hydrocarbon goes pop. How is that going to land? Voodoo bottlenecking power. He's also lost his energy storage, so he can't overcharge for the moment. All of his build capacity, he's trying to get some PD online, stop any run-bys into the back. But this group of Mongoose are still alive at the back. Chosen trying to pin them in against the hill, forcing them backwards, and now they're going to be forced into a Ruptor range, which is going to finish them all off as they're really badly damaged. And that is the last kind of enterprising group left on the field for Voodoo, who's again moving out with his ACU. Balls of steel this man has. 2,500 hit points, heading north. But then I guess if you don't expand, you're dead anyway. That's the way he sees it. Chosen moving forward, still working with his ACU, doing as much damage as is humanly possible. Another group of Auroras and Fervors coming in, and also Blazes as well. So Chosen has nullified that T2 advantage finally. He's got some T2 units of his own. Of course, he's got the Asylum here as well, with the shield over his commander. And having just got that hydrocarbon back online, Chosen is working on it once again. Such a devastating loss for that to go down. Mongoose now forming up in formation, trying to use their range advantage to the best of their abilities. Hydrocarbon does go down. Voodoo working on a Triad at the heart of his base, trying to create some kind of a breathing barrier to get back into this game. I don't know how he's going to manage it. Very large grouped up set of units. There is now the overcharge in place for Voodoo to use it. That was a very tightly knit group of units there. He could have bagged about 5 or 6 of them the moment passed. Now Voodoo moving back in with his commander, back up into the yellow at least, which is something. Blaze goes down, and this group of units is now essentially defeated, but still Chosen just chilling here with his Asylum, and the T2 factory, which was the mainstay of this game on 65 hit points, surely going to go down any moment. Literally, someone just has to sneeze on that thing. It's going to fall down. Unbelievable. Blaze moving in. A couple of shots aimed at the commander end up missing and go straight into the factory. And it promptly gets destroyed. And surely that's the end of this. Surely. That early T2 factory, which was such a turning point in this game at 3 minutes, seems to have cost Voodoo. Mind you, if he's faced off against a lesser player, that probably would have been the most outrageously successful strategy. But not against Chosen. Managed to punish Voodoo for that early expenditure. Voodoo trying to get that hydrocarbon back online, taking a lot of fire from Chosen's ACU once again. Needs to be really careful. At least there are 2 triads now in place at the back, so as these units come in, they're going to be taking a lot of fire, and still quite a few mongoose in play as well. The air factory goes down. Hasn't been a great deal of use. It's allowed him to get 1 interceptor in the sky. Voodoo down to around 3,500 hit points. Engaging Chosen with all he's got, with the mongoose advancing very far forward indeed. Could this potentially be an attempt at the draw? He seems to be committing. There's a lot of units in place for Chosen. He's coming in with Stingers. Sorry, not Stingers, Spectres. Voodoo's very close. Chosen's very low down as well. Did they both go up? Oh! Very nicely done. Voodoo forces the draw. And that is the hallmark of a true pro. He was beaten in that game for so much of it. I'd say the best part of at least 10 to 12 minutes. That game was effectively over, and he knew it. He was just waiting for some kind of opening to get back into position so he could force the draw, which he managed to do it. That's absolutely insane. Very well done indeed, Voodoo. It reminds me actually of FAFcast 38. He did. He looked like he'd lost the game against TA for Life, but TA for Life had grabbed all of the map control, but still he managed to sneak a kill in with Restorers, and that is why Voodoo is as good as he is. Very entertaining. Thank you very much to Chosen for sending that one in. You might have thought that was one sent in by Voodoo, but it wasn't. It was Chosen, and wisely done so. Very entertaining as far as I'm concerned. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. I hope there will be more in the future. Really going to try and get these technical problems sorted out as soon as humanly possible. Certainly before the weekend. I've got a I've organised a pro game surprise for an Easter Sunday special, so I definitely want to be up and running around that time. But in the meantime, guys, stay well and stay safe as always. This is Gyle signing out.